Hey Guru Nation, welcome back to the clinicaltrialsguru.com. So, wanted to talk to you really quick today about site initiation visits, and both from the site perspective and the CRA perspective. So, I took on a contract CRA position, and I did a SIV yesterday, or a site initiation visit. And I've been on the other side of it many times as a site, obviously. And as a CRA, that was my first experience, but I'm glad I got the opportunity, and I'm going to be doing another one coming up soon. So, what happens at a site initiation visit? Okay, so this is the second monitoring visit for a site whenever a site gets a new study. The first visit is the site selection visit, and that's exactly what it sounds like. The site has not been selected yet, and the monitor is basically qualifying the PI and the staff to make sure that they're actually capable of doing the study and doing a good job on the study. At the site initiation visit, the site has already been accepted for the study. So what the monitor goes out to do is basically go out to train the site on the protocol, and then to remind the investigator of their responsibilities to keep up with the protocol, obviously, and to keep up with good clinical practice guidelines, GCP guidelines, okay? So probably 1 to 2 hours are spent training staff on the protocol. And again, the SIV may occur after an investigator meeting has already occurred, where they have already trained all the sites on the protocol. But at the SIV, they do it, your monitor does it with the PI and all the staff members so that they get the documented training on the site training log. Okay, so at the SIV visit, you do the protocol training as a monitor, and as a site, you are the recipient of this training. Okay, another thing the monitor does that you got to be prepared for as a site is to make sure all your regulatory documents are in place. So do you have the most recent version of the informed consent? Do you have the most recent version of the approved informed consent form approved by the IRB? Do you have the most recent version of the protocol? Do you have all the investigators and sub-investigators listed on the 1572? Do you have all the investigators and sub-investigators signed off on a financial disclosure form? All right, that's regulatory. Do you have GCP? Do you have IATA? Do you have any study-specific training? Then they get into the lab kits. Have you received the lab kits? Do you have the lab manual? Then they get into the investigational product. Have you received the investigational product? Have you done any drug accountability on it? Have you logged it into the IWRS? Is your drug being kept stored securely in a temperature-controlled environment? Then they get into the EDC, electronic data capture. Have you done your EDC training? Who needs access to EDC? Usually it's the PI and 2 coordinators. Right? Then they get into the source documents. Do you have the source documents so you can start screening subjects? If any of these things and possibly more are missing, another one could be vendor. Do you have all your vendors listed on the 1572 to participate in the study? For example, a very common one is having an MRI facility. So most research sites don't have their own MRI facilities, so they outsource this to a vendor. Well, that vendor needs to be either included as an additional facility on the 1572, and sometimes you need their MD's CV and medical license in the regulatory binder. Sometimes sites don't even have a vendor identified, so it's up to the CRA to list this as an action item on their monitoring report for the SIV monitoring report. So if any of these things are missing, the site actually cannot start screening subjects until they complete these action items. And these will be documented in the monitor's follow-up letter to the site with the action items listed, as well as in the SIV monitoring report to the sponsor. So the site can or cannot start screening immediately after the site initiation visit, depending on these action items. So hopefully that helps. Try to keep this under 5 minutes, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.